You're this perp back with another video, and this is Cobra Kai, episode 3, season 3. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow me on Twitter at perpminer420, and man, let's get right into this. This was definitely a slower episode, but things are definitely starting to get interesting. You know, we see Robbie in juvie, and he learns very quickly that this karate shit don't work out in a lot of situations. But I feel like, you know, he's just going through a lot of things mentally, so he can't really focus. But man, Robbie can't stop taking L's right now. He got his ass whooped. Speaking of Robbie, let's go over to his father, Johnny. And, you know, it was funny how this episode opens where Johnny goes to see one of his old friends that's a priest now, or a pastor, I should say. And, you know, he goes in there wilding, drunk, and his friend has to put him down. He's really looking for guidance and trying to figure out what he should do with this whole situation, you know, because on one hand, he's got a son that's locked up, and now he has to deal with Miguel and try to make things right, because Miguel has to get surgery where his family can't really afford it. So you got different characters and stuff like that trying to scramble up money. You know, he's trying to figure out what he could do, you know, to make things right. So he decides to go to his stepdad, and his stepdad's a fucking prick. An absolute prick. And you know, he tries to ask him for some bread, but not able to really be successful at it, obviously. On the other side with Robbie, you know, he wants to go visit Robbie to see how he's doing, and that's where his pastor friend comes into play, because he's the one that can kind of get him in there in the door. But he gets caught up at the hospital. I'm talking about Johnny. He gets caught up at the hospital because Miguel's grandmother wants them to stay. He was able to get his end of the money, and, you know, he feels like Johnny's the one that can kind of get Miguel back, you know, mentally. So he ends up staying there and kind of leaves Robbie hanging, which I think that's going to have some ramifications, obviously, down the line. Who knows? Maybe they can rectify things at some point in the season. Now Sam and the other Miyagi-Do students are trying to also have a fundraiser for Miguel to get his surgery, and, you know, they get the money up, but Hawk is not liking this. Hawk is definitely going full villain. He's definitely living up to that Cobra Kai name, well, at least Kreese's Cobra Kai, and he decides to steal the money and beat the shit out of the one Asian kid, which was really fucked up. And this what leads Sam to kind of take up the reins and, you know, go behind her father's back and just continue training, which that's so interesting to me. Like, even after the whole situation with the school fight, you know what I'm saying, the big huge school fight, it's definitely changed a lot of people for better or for worse, but it definitely has kept that whole Cobra Kai Miyagi-Do beef going. Now, speaking of Daniel's going through his own kind of struggles throughout this episode, as his dealership's kind of you know, on the line. And this is what I really like about this show, because it shows you life lessons, you know, things that Daniel has learned from Mr. Miyagi. He really puts into his adult life, and, you know, he's left with an ultimatum to sell his dealership to a competitor, but he's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna bow down. I'm not gonna give up, you know, because they worked so hard to get this dealership. Why give up now? Which leads him to go to Japan. That's how the episode pretty much ends. Which I'm wondering, how much time are we going to spend in Japan? Are we going to get another tournament in Japan possibly? Or, is that just teasing something to come in the future, or something we could possibly go back to in season 4 or something like that? But this was a slower paced episode. Not too much going on. Not my favorite episode. Wasn't a bad episode, but definitely was somewhat filler. Curious to see how episode 4 goes, and what kind of deal did Daniel make that was a better offer than what Cole was doing. And very, very interesting stuff. I want to see more. I still want to see more Hawk, man. I want to see Johnny and Robbie actually have a conversation and kind of sit down and talk with one another. I hope things. You know what? I take that back. I really want to see Robbie and Miguel's interaction, and how that conversation is going to be, and how that's all going to be, how that's going to go. How does Miguel feel about Robbie? Because it's definitely taking a toll on Robbie, because he feels mad guilty. A lot of these characters feel guilty for what happened to Miguel. Very interesting stuff here. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode in the comments below. But until my next video, I'm gonna go watch episode 4 right now, and I will be back shortly to give you that review of episode 4. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.